Donald Trump has always thrived on confrontation, especially when the stakes involve American jobs and economic strength. This time, however, his target isn't a foreign adversary or a political rival. It's Ford Motor Company, a beloved and storied American brand that has come to symbolize industrial might, innovation, and national pride. In an unprecedented and controversial decision that has sent shockwaves through both the political and automotive landscapes, Trump recently imposed enormous tariffs on Ford vehicles produced overseas. The reasoning behind his dramatic action: Ford's decision to manufacture some of its vehicles in countries like Mexico, Canada, Germany, Spain, China, Argentina, and Brazil. Trump's message couldn't be clearer. The America First mantra means that every American company must prioritize domestic production or face stiff consequences. Ford, synonymous with American ingenuity since its founding by Henry Ford in 1903, has played a foundational role in shaping American industry. With plants in iconic automotive regions such as Michigan and Kentucky, Ford has consistently employed thousands of Americans, providing economic stability to entire communities. Vehicles such as the F-150 pickup, Explorer SUV, and the Mustang have become cultural touchstones, symbolizing both personal freedom and American craftsmanship. Yet, like many multinational corporations, Ford operates in a global marketplace. To effectively manage supply chains, costs, and regional market demands, Ford has established production facilities worldwide. Vehicles such as the compact Ford EcoSport, assembled in India, the mid-size Fusion manufactured in Mexico, and popular SUVs like the Everest and Ranger, built in Thailand, demonstrate Ford's globalized production strategy. Trump, however, sees Ford's international operations differently. In his view, each vehicle built abroad represents lost opportunities for American workers. We cannot have a robust American economy if our own companies continue outsourcing jobs, Trump declared passionately in a recent televised speech. American cars should be made by American hands, in American factories, on American soil. Ford's response was swift and unequivocal. CEO Jim Farley expressed frustration and disappointment with the tariffs, labeling them as short-sighted, damaging, and detrimental to American families. Farley emphasized that Ford's global manufacturing approach is essential to its survival, ensuring competitive pricing, streamlined logistics, and strategic market positioning. He argued that punishing Ford through tariffs will ultimately hurt American consumers most directly, forcing them to pay higher prices at dealerships nationwide. Nonetheless, Trump's position has galvanized his political base, rekindling debates around nationalism, global trade, protectionism, and economic policy. Supporters applaud Trump's tariffs as a bold stand against corporate outsourcing and a necessary measure to safeguard domestic manufacturing. Critics, however, warn that the tariffs could trigger economic instability, spark retaliatory measures from trade partners, and ultimately harm US consumers through higher costs and limited vehicle options. In practical terms, these tariffs mean that Americans considering purchases of popular imported Ford models will soon face notably higher sticker prices. For example, the EcoSport and certain versions of the Ranger and Everest will now be significantly more expensive, potentially limiting their appeal and accessibility to average buyers. Economic analysts predict the impact could ripple throughout Ford's sales figures, dealership revenues, and eventually employment rates. Politically, Trump's tariffs position him advantageously among working-class voters, reinforcing his narrative as a champion of blue-collar America. He continues to present himself as a defender against corporate greed and outsourcing, leveraging Ford's global strategy as evidence of the need for tough economic nationalism. For Ford, this new development presents an existential crisis. The automaker finds itself caught between its legacy as a cornerstone of American manufacturing and the realities of competing in a global marketplace. Chairman Bill Ford has vigorously defended the company's ongoing investments in American plants, highlighting recent expansions and hiring initiatives in states like Michigan and Kentucky. Nevertheless, whether these measures satisfy Trump's demands remains uncertain. The broader automotive industry watches anxiously as this scenario unfolds. Manufacturers such as General Motors, Stellantis and Tesla, each with significant global operations, realised they could soon become targets themselves. Trump's tariff actions against Ford signal a broader shift towards aggressive economic nationalism, placing the entire industry on alert. Meanwhile, the human toll of these tariffs is becoming clearer. Ford employees both in America and abroad now face profound uncertainty. American factory workers worry about the long-term viability of their jobs, while employees in international plants face the potential closure of facilities and subsequent unemployment. Communities dependent on Ford's presence, from Detroit suburbs to towns in Mexico and Thailand, brace for economic disruption. Economic experts warn that Trump's aggressive approach could escalate tensions with key trade partners, potentially provoking retaliatory tariffs. Countries impacted by Trump's decision, such as Canada and Mexico, critical partners within the USMCA trade agreement, might respond by imposing tariffs on American exports. Such actions could ignite a broader economic conflict, risking stability across numerous industries. Yet Trump remains undeterred. He firmly believes his bold measures are necessary to ensure the reshoring of manufacturing jobs, a core promise of his political agenda. For Ford, the options ahead are stark. Either dramatically alter its global strategy to concentrate production in the United States, or face the daunting financial consequences of sustained tariffs. The debate among industry experts is fierce. Optimists suggest Trump's strategy could catalyse a beneficial reshoring trend, rejuvenating American manufacturing and creating stable employment opportunities. Skeptics, however, argue the tariffs risk permanently damaging Ford's competitive edge, inflating vehicle costs, and potentially making American-made vehicles less attractive on the global stage. Another critical dimension to this controversy involves environmental and technological transitions. As Ford accelerates its shift toward electric vehicles, higher tariffs could complicate investments in emerging technologies. International facilities often produce essential components like batteries and electric motors more efficiently and affordably. Trump's protectionist stance threatens Ford's capacity to compete effectively in the rapidly evolving EV market, potentially hindering innovation and growth. In the end, Trump's historic tariffs on Ford are more than just an economic maneuver. They represent a defining moment in America's ongoing struggle to balance globalization and national sovereignty. Whether viewed as courageous leadership or reckless protectionism, Trump's decision has set the stage for a battle likely to shape the future of American manufacturing. As Ford and Trump remain locked in this high-stakes showdown, observers and stakeholders alike watch anxiously. The consequences of their confrontation will extend far beyond the boardrooms and factory floors, influencing American economic policies, automotive industry practices, and millions of livelihoods for generations to come. The battle lines have been drawn, and the outcome is anything but certain.